My name is Tavares Martin, 23 years old, personal trainer from Washington, D.C. To be cozy is to be comfortable with yourself and not feel any urge to change yourself because of other people's perspective. If I had to describe myself with 3 words, it would be perseverance, tenacity, and hard worker. Growing up, being the only male in the house full of women, it was pretty different, always having to explain your perspective on different things and kind of being outnumbered in certain aspects when it came to, just communication and how things were ran. I experienced a lot of love, being in a house full of women, but, it was also a lot of drama at times. Ultimately, I feel like growing up around my sisters and my mom kind of showed me how to be a better man to, my potential woman that I'm going to deal with in the future in terms of wife or even having a daughter of my own. And, I really value the relationships that I've been able to have and, having, God put me in this family to, kind of be the only man around. I love all of them to death, so I'm blessed to truly have them. I would say my biggest struggles growing up probably were self-identification, trying to really figure out who I am as a person. And, realizing that I'm different from a lot of people. And, I had times where I felt like I tried to do things to be accepted. I would say once I got to a certain age, I started to realize being who I am was much more, authentic and cool than trying to fit into the status quo. But in terms of struggles, I know for a fact those 2 things were things that I dealt with. Seeking and wanting to be around good people and learning how to filter out, who I should be around, who I shouldn't be around. Basketball started on an official price tour in New Carolyn. I remember my mom got it for me when I was about, I want to say, like 3 or 4 years old. Beyond that, I remember playing Boys and Girls Club from about the age of 6 all the way up to 14. I played for Langley Park, Greenville, and that transitioned to high school basketball at High Point. And after High Point, I walked on to Garrett College and McHenry, Maryland. Basketball pretty much shaped my whole mentality on how I approach life, because most people don't understand when you play for a team, especially the higher you get in terms of the level that you're playing at, nothing's really given to you. And if you're not, you can be promised the world, but once the ball goes up and the whistles, are blown, it's all on you for you to perform and really put your imprint on that time that you have in the game. And if you think about that in life, you only get a certain amount of chances to really show your worth, and you really just gotta give it your all while you have that chance. So 2006, my dad had a stroke. I remember I was in 6th grade, and he was in California helping my older sister with my firstborn nephew. And I remember my mom telling me that she had to go, buy a plane ticket and give him a plane to go get my dad from California, just solely based off of the information she was getting from my older sister about him. And shortly after her coming back, they diagnosed it as a stroke, and he was never really the same after that. Transitioned about 5 years down the line, I've been in and out the hospital. It was about 11th grade in 2011. My dad, I got the news that my dad passed away, and it was from respiratory failure. And it's probably one of the saddest times in my life, but at that moment I didn't really know how to deal with it. I didn't really know what that really meant, as a 16-year-old, 15-year-old, somebody, as dear as a parent, passing away. So I feel like the after effect or the aftermath of that didn't really start to affect me until later on down the line in my early adulthood years. I remember my senior prom, brought my dad picture out mainly because I wanted to know that he was there with me, and I have him tattooed on my chest, but I want a visual representation of him being there with me. And I feel like the best way to commemorate him and kind of show that he'll always be with me, especially during that big transition through that celebration of graduating from high school and just the steps you take during your senior year, was to have that picture of him with me, and during that beautiful time. So pretty much growing up as the only man in the house, and then losing my dad at an early age, it had a significant effect on me, solely because I had a lot of feelings that I didn't really know how to address. Being a man or being a person, I feel like everybody wants to have somebody they can relate to and pretty much just interact with to kind of learn about themselves and the world, or just to learn about the person who they look up to. And I know me being the type of person I am, I'm pretty much introverted, not really a lot social with a lot of different people. And losing my dad when I did, it was kind of one of the hardest things for me as a person. And that transitioned into every aspect of my life. I mean, from being at school to jobs that I had, even in basketball. Not really having a strong role, older male role model in my life, or somebody that I sought out to confide in and really just speak to on a daily basis, or even just through my hardships from high school to college, or even just outside of formal environments. It kind of just made me become just more tough. Just had a lot of days where I just sat in my room and I just cried and wondered why I had to lose my dad when I did, and just transitioning deeper into life just made me realize the significant effect that you have as a parent on your children, and not even just as a parent, but just as a person. They make a big difference just being there. So I would say not having my dad really made it harder for me to trust other people, especially men in my life. Not having great experiences with my coaches, teachers. It was just like I was always deemed as somebody who was, a troublemaker in a sense. But it was more so just my lack of understanding of male interaction. So not really having my dad was something I feel like made me a stronger man now to this day, but early on it just really made me question myself and decisions I made a lot. My relationship with my mom since my dad passed kind of changed a good amount. Before, when my dad was here, she didn't really question me or bring me in on a lot of the things that, being an adult is like, whether it's bills or just problems that come up. And once, my dad passed and, I was entering early adulthood, I started to be asked a lot more of me, which was new to me, especially coming home and all I ever had to worry about was basketball and school. That change was something that took me a while to get used to. It was pretty demanding, but overall my mom kind of instilled in me to have a very steadfast and immovable spirit and mentality when it came to just being asked of a lot. She kind of told me that once things changed, that she would expect a little more from me, but overall, it wasn't anything I couldn't handle. And to this day, I feel like our relationship is a lot more stronger than it was before my dad passed, just because of everything that we've been through together, and just more so the simple fact that we're continuing to grow as mother and son and individually. Being an athlete majority of my life, I feel like anybody else who was an athlete and that took it as serious as I did knows that transition that you have to take once you stop devoting all of your time, your mind, your energy to being the best athlete you can be, and transitioning into being a better person. So it took me about 2 or 3 years of going through a lot of hardships and traumatic experiences to really recognize that becoming a personal trainer and that fitness was something that I wanted to pursue. And once I made the decision to become a personal trainer, I felt like God showed me all the signs of building StrongMind StrongWill as my brand. And from the time that I knew early in February 2017, I kind of had my mind made up that this was something I wanted to do for the rest of my life. Coping mechanisms that I use to kind of deal with a lot of the hardship that I experienced and just not understanding things at a young age. Once I became a young adult, I started to smoke weed. I started to act out in relationships that I had in terms of with women that I had either was dating or I'm friends with, and I just had a lot of anger that was built up. But as I began to search more deeper in myself, I started to figure out things that were more of a positive outlet for me, and fitness was one of those things. Writing out poetry here and there, drawing, just finding people who can relate to me on that level and I can just speak to in a no judgment, kind of cozy environment. It's something that I definitely can appreciate, and just happy that I was able to break a lot of those bad habits at an early age. On my road to self-discovery and success, I feel like I'm on the cusp of becoming who I sought out to be. I don't know the time frame or the time where that thing would just reveal itself, and I will be living in that walking where I want to be. But I know that is soon, and figuring out what my purpose is. I feel like I know what that is, and that is to pretty much affect people in many different ways, in terms of guidance, positivity and love. One of those things is through fitness. Another one is just through being there for people the way I wish I had people to be there for me during my time of hurt and just feeling lonely, and pretty much just wanting to be that light that I feel like the world lacks. I feel like a lot of people lack a lot of the just being comfortable enough with themselves to be who they are, and they feel like they gotta fit this standard or the status quo that the world puts out. And I just try to allow people to know that with me in your corner or being around me, you can just be who you are at all times. If I could give myself, my younger self, any advice, I would tell them to stay patient and continue to focus on growth. Don't get caught up in how you feel at this moment. Pay attention to the feelings that you are feeling, but be more so focused on the destination that you desire to, end up at. And I will also tell myself to continue to love myself despite how I'm feeling. My name is Tavares Martin. Remember, always be coached.
IssanVisuals.